Hello students, welcome to the class on current affairs, and in this class I will be dealing with very important issue, that is Israel-Palestine issue. Now from examination point of view, this will help you in general studies mains examination paper 2, plus this will also help you in your interview preparation. Now this Israel and Palestine issue is a very old issue, an issue that has beginning in the ancient history. So basically we'll be learning three things in this class. First of all, the beginning of conflict. What this conflict is all about, how this conflict has been created, how this conflict has continued till now. We'll be discussing these things. Secondly, we'll be understanding the political equation in Palestine. This is the second thing that we will be understanding. Third is about the solution. In solution we will be discussing two things. Number one is one state solution, and another is two-state solution. Now let us start from the first beginning of conflict. Like I have told you, this conflict is about a piece of land existing in the east of the Mediterranean Sea. Now this piece of land in ancient times was once occupied by the Jews community. Now this Jewish community is a kind of minority community in the world. Now this is one community that has been persecuted like hell. This has been one community that has been butchered in the entire phase of history. And the most important phase of persecution had come under Hitler. Now after World War I, this community was held responsible for the loss of Germany. And for this very reason, Hitler had ordered to persecute this entire community of Jews. So they had borne the brunt of brutality of Hitler. This community has borne the brunt of brutality of the entire world. So, in order to placate their grievances, in order to placate their disenchantment and the grief that they had undergone during the phase of colonialism and imperialism, the Western powers of France and England had promised a piece of land to the Jews. Now from period around 1890s till 1940, all the Jews, they begin to assert themselves in the form of a movement that is known as Zionist Movement. This Zionist movement was counter to the anti-Semitist movement. Now what is anti-Semitist movement and what is Zionist movement? Anti-Semitist movement was a movement that was launched by the Hitler to persecute Jews, and the counter movement was launched in the form of Zionism. Now what is this Zionism? Zionism was nothing but a call to the entire Jewish community to settle in the land lying in the east of the Mediterranean. So most of the Jewish community begin to settle. So the keyword here is settle in east of the Mediterranean. Now this east of the Mediterranean piece of land was occupied by the Muslim community. Now by the end of 1945, this Jewish community's number had added up to 6,50,000. Now the Muslim community that was already residing in this piece of land began to feel fearful of this Jewish community. And out of this fear, they entered into a war. And a nation was created in the form of Israel in 1948 under the UN resolution. Now this new nation that was created, it began to assert opportunism. It began to resort to aggression. It began to resort to expansionism. So the most important word here is expansionism. So it resorted to this expansionist strategy. It began to increase its scope. So when we look at the map of Israel and Palestine, on the east of the Mediterranean, this is the Mediterranean and here is its east, there are two pockets on the east and on the west where this entire Palestinian population has been confined to. On the east, we have the West Bank, though it is lying on the east, but it is West Bank, and another strip on which this Palestinian population has been confined is known as Gaza Strip. बाकी सारे हिस्से पे इजराइल ज्यूज पॉपुलेशन का कब्जा है. Now when we look at this entire equation, diplomatic equation, from the perspective of diplomacy, Israel had used the ongoing attrition between the communist and the capitalist forces to keep itself formed in this land peace. Now the USA, in order to stop the waves, in order to stop the wind of communism flowing in the Middle East countries, it had supported Israel. The USA had spent about tens of billions of dollars in Israel. It had provided it with support. Provided it with support in order to support, in order to stop, in order to thwart the march of communism in the Middle East countries. And using the support, Israel had been able to launch its expansionist agenda. Now, the political parties existing in Palestine also want to have right to the piece of land. They want to live peacefully, and for this they are being supported by the entire Muslim world, be it Shia or be it Sunni, be the countries of Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Egypt, Iraq, Saudi Arabia. All these countries, they are supporting Palestine in this issue. They want to thwart expansionist agenda of Israel. But there is a divide in the politics. There is a divide among the political parties existing in Palestine. There are basically two types of political parties existing in Palestine. The one type is Hamas. Now, Hamas is a group that is a fundamentalist group, and another group is the group of Yasser Arafat. This is a group that is less fundamentalist. Of late, there has been a fight between Yasser Arafat group and Hamas group. They have fought with each other of how to preserve the independence of Palestine, how to preserve the integrity of Palestine, how to preserve the unity of Palestine. Then it is important to understand what kind of a solution both these states are looking for. Broadly, the solution that is being put forward to resolve this internecine conflict is the solution of duality. Either to go for one state solution or to go for two state solution. Now what is meant by one state solution and two state solution? Now the one state solution means that this entire land piece lying in the east of the Mediterranean, over which there exists the Palestinian population and the Jewish population, the entire region should be merged into one nation. And this nation should promote democracy. In reality, it means the Palestinian population and the Jewish population should be living as one country. But if we see it from the real politic perspective, this is something that is not possible. This is not tenable. Something that will not be addressing the values of both the parties, the opposite parties. The concerns will not be addressed. Because Muslims, they will never be living in peace with the Jewish community. And the same is also true about the Jewish community. So the second solution is the solution about the two-state solution. Two-state solution means that Palestine and Israel should exist as two separate nations, and the Israel should withdraw itself from the regions of Palestine. Israel should stop making settlements in west part of West Bank and in the part of Gaza, because these are the two settlements, West Bank and Gaza, over which there is a occupation of the Palestinians, where the Palestinians are residing. So the two-state solution is something over which the talks are going on, and recently a resolution has been passed by United Nations whereby United States has been very vocal about the illegal settlements that the Israel is promoting. And in this resolution, its older ally, that is United States of America, has also not supported it. So now we are looking ahead for a solution whereby a two-nation state will be created out of this conflict between Israel and Palestine. But this is very, very tough. So this was all for the class. You can subscribe to this channel. Name of the channel is Brainy IAS. You can contact us at 845940000 in case you are interested in buying the video classes on entire civil services preparation. So this was all for the day. Bye bye. Take care. Have a nice